Hey everybody, it's Gary Kayye, and I am back with Melody Craigmyle this time. Earlier today I talked to Sam, Executive Vice President, Sam Taylor, Executive Vice President of Almo ProAV, and I conned him into allowing me to talk to Melody Craigmyle, who's the Vice President of Marketing of Almo ProAV. Melody, how are you doing?
I'm doing great. Thanks, Gary, for having me on.
Did I get the title right? It is Vice President of Marketing, right?
Yes, it is. Yes.
Well-deserved title. You've done a phenomenal job there. You've been with Sam a long time, even before there was an Almo, and you guys have amassed a heck of a following, not just from the fact that you distribute some of the best products in the industry, but also your Almo E4 show, your tour, Almo E4 tour, which has become known as, is really a hit. I mean, I've been fortunate enough to be the keynote speaker at all of them, and I'm just blown away at how they just somehow keep getting better and every year. And you've outdone yourself this year, because I just read a press release that all 10 classes that'll be at the E4 tour this year are all CTS certified.
Yeah, that's correct. We spent a great deal of time and effort on making sure that the curriculum at these events is top notch, and with partners like Infocom and our other manufacturing partners who really believe in certification. They believe in the process of getting these courses certified, because there's a certain level of content that it has to be value add. It's not product commercials, and so we feel like that having this 100% CTS certification just lends another level of credibility to the tour and to what attendees should expect from the tour.
And actually, you make a really good point, because anybody can create a course. I mean, any manufacturer can go out there and create a course on their products or their technology, but not anybody can get them all certified by Infocom. It's not just a blank certification. You have to submit the course to Infocom. They evaluate the quality of not only the instruction and the course material, but also the instructor. So I've gone through that a number of times, and I commend you for actually taking the time to submit all that stuff and get it approved. So I think that's cool, because everybody who attends the Almo E4 tour, which the first one is March 28th in Chicago,
yes,
and everyone who attends that, who attends any training session, including my keynote, which is the first thing that kicks it off, will get, on my keynote you get an hour credit, CTS credit, but any of the other courses that you take, you also get CTS credits.
Yes.
Tell us about some of the more popular courses, or the ones that they should really look out for based on sort of what's happening in the industry.
Well, one other thing we did that was new this year is we tried to have a course that spoke to one particular issue in the AV industry, and just I'll give you an example, the convergence of AV and IT. We tried to have a business building course and then also a technical course. So new this year on the tour, we have one from Infocom. It's called Assessing Network Readiness, which is more of a technical course. And then we have a class from Braun Consulting titled How to Play in the IT Sandbox with AV Installations. And that really speaks to how are IT departments structured? Who are the players? Who do you need to be speaking to? How do you speak their language so that you create consensus within those departments of putting that AV equipment on the network? So we're hoping that organizations will see that they can send their salespeople, they can send their principals, they can send their technical people to our event, and there's really something for everybody within the curriculum.
Yeah, that's actually a really good idea, because in a lot of cases, of course, salespeople, it's a slam dunk for them to go to an event like this, and maybe less so obvious for the technical people, because if it's not listed as technical training, then they might not realize the value of this. But actually, you hit on a really good topic, because AV people really need to understand the network inside and out, and so having a technical version of that would draw people who do installations and do systems design where they're putting stuff on the network. You do have to learn how to talk the talk, and you really need to understand the complexities. I mean, it started out with video conferencing on the network, but now everything's on the network, and it isn't just plugging in an Ethernet port. There's a lot more configuration to it than that.
Yeah, there's a great deal to this, and we take feedback every year from our participants about what topics they want to learn more about, and AV and IT was definitely right up there. Another popular topic we're going to be speaking about is, of course, emerging display technology. And I know you covered that in your keynote. You know, what are the emerging trends? We also have a course, again, from Braun Consulting, who provides a lot of our curriculum on integration of mobile devices. You know, the bring your own device concept. We also have, of course, the inside track on displays, which is going to go into the most cutting edge things out there and what they're really about. What's OLED and what's happening with that in the market? You know, there was LCD, and then it was LED, and then now we have lampless projector technologies, and it's kind of demystifying what those are all about and explaining what some of the industry trends are going to be.
In fact, the first place I ever saw a lampless projector, LED projector, was at your show. First place I ever saw an LED lit LCD was at your show. And I assume that at your show I'll see the new laser projectors from there's a couple of manufacturers out there, and both of them attend your show and have exhibited at your show. Will have their laser projectors there, so I think that's an interesting way of seeing that light source as well. Although we can't talk about it right now because I'm not sure if it's going to be made public, you have a couple of new manufacturers that will be at this year's Almo E4 show that will be made public over the next few days. And both of them are big manufacturers, big names, so you've really got a great partnership. And in past, I think you've had somewhere around 35 or 38 different vendors. Is that correct?
Yeah, we'll have about between 30 and 35 exhibitors at the show. And there's going to be some really exciting new products. There's going to be some stuff that'll be at InfoComm that you might get a sneak peek at. We are going to have a 4K display there from Sharp from the professional side, not just consumer. So there'll be some very exciting things for people to see on the show floor.
Well, it's again, the first date is March 28th, and that's in Chicago. And it'll start out with my keynote, which Melody had this idea of taking my crystal ball, which I do annually, write about sort of what's going to happen over the next year in the industry, and turn it into a live presentation. And it's been a lot of fun to deliver it. I did it twice this fall, and I'm going to do it again this spring. And it's changed about, 70% of it's about the same, but about 30% of it's new, even in just the last 3 months, because there's just stuff changing all the time. And I do talk about some of the new technologies, but I do also focus on some of the trends, the market trends, I think, that can help people for 2030. There's a lot of money to be made out there in 2013. You just got to know where to find it. Now, what about, can you give us any hints at any sort of I know you give away a lot of prizes, for example. I mean, if you attend and you're willing to stay around to the end, which is easy to do because of the amount of education that's there, I mean, you guys give away thousands of dollars worth of free product. Can you tell us a little bit about that? Because I need a new TV, as you know.
Yeah, well, we always give away televisions, but for those folks that attended Chicago 2 years ago and then the San Francisco event, which is April 25th, if you're a repeat attendee, we have a cool pair of Panasonic noise-canceling headphones for repeat attendees. So that's everybody who's a repeat? Everybody that's a repeat gets a pair of those great headphones. And then at the end of the day, from 2:30 to 3, we have our big prize drawing, which a lot of our manufacturers donate prizes: TVs, Blu-rays, personal audio. One great thing about being a part of Almo Corporation is that we have a consumer electronics division, and we have all of this great access to the neatest, fun stuff, and we get a lot of stuff away. So that's always a lot of fun.
Well, we'll be there covering it live. We'll have at least 2 or 3 of us, I think. Actually, I think we're going to have 3 people there covering the show live this year. And we'll be shooting videos of every booth that's there. And we'll also interview people that are there. And we'll show all the new products that are there. But, if you're in the Chicagoland area, regardless if you're downtown or even in that surrounding area, you need to come to this show. It's worth taking the day. You can get CTS renewal credits, but also you are going to, and unfortunately I can't tell you exactly what you're going to see because there's some NDAs that are still out there, but you're going to see 2 products that you aren't going to see at any other distributor show, at least, not including the other products that you already carry, in addition to products that, as you said, will not be shown again until InfoComm. So go to the Almo E4 website, and the easiest way to get there, correct me if I'm wrong, is go to almoproav.com.
Actually, you can go to e4avtour.com,
Okay.
and that will you can watch a recap video, which you guys did for us, Gary, about kind of shows what happens on the show floor and about the event, and look at the specific agendas for each event. And finally, one thing we kind of failed to mention that we think everyone knows about the E4 AV tour is that it's free.
Oh yeah.
Everything is free. The classes, breakfast, lunch, parking, there's absolutely no cost. I mean, we understand it's an investment of time, and that is, time is money, right? But there's no investment, and that's really the mission of the E4 tour, is to provide quality education for the AV industry, and we're able to do that thanks to our manufacturing partners, and we bring it local. So it's a one-day show, there's no travel, and there's no cost to participants. So I hope that this year's tour is going to be bigger and better than ever, because we've worked really hard on the show and the curriculum.
So where in Chicago is it going to be on March 28th?
It's going to be out in the suburbs in Oak Brook at Drury Lane, and there's plenty of parking. It's very accessible off a lot of major highways, so come out and see us.
All right, so Almo E4 Tour, or E4 Tour AV, you say it.
E4avtour.com.
Okay, E4avtour.com, and if you can't remember that, just go to almoproav.com, because there's a link directly on there. Again, 10 courses, all CTS approved. Hopefully you'll come early enough that you can see my keynote, which usually starts right at 9 o'clock. It lasts about an hour, and then you dump into a bunch of other training seminars, and like Melody said, approximately 30 to 35 vendors with their products there. And as I said, I promise you there'll be at least a couple of products you will not see again until InfoComm, and there's a couple of products there you haven't seen unless you go to this show or go to InfoComm. So, Melody, I appreciate you joining me today. I hope you enjoy planning it, because it's a lot of fun to attend, and I am honored to be a keynote speaker again for 2013, so thank you for inviting me.
Great. Well, thanks for all your support, and we're looking forward to a great tour.
Well, thank you, and you have a great week.
Okay. You too. Thanks, Gary.